Hi, my name is Matt Pearson. I'm the lead commercial engineer for Village Heating. This is a new installation we've recently completed in the Worcester GB162 range. Here we have the boilers that we've just recently installed, and I'm going to be conducting a service. Okay, first thing we begin by doing is by exposing the gas, disconnecting the gas valve. Once it is loose, we then release the retaining clips holding down the burner. Once it's all exposed, we then remove the air intake from the fan, and then we're ready to lift out our burner. And not forgetting the back plug on the fan. Right, so here we have the burner. Be very careful because it's a ceramic burner. And here we are about to expose the inner workings of the GB612. After we remove the burner, we inspect the burner, see if there's any cracks, deformations or anything that may be burning unevenly on the burner. So after we expose the burner, we expose the main heat exchanger. We just merely inspect it on our initial installation to make sure there is no leaks, the ignition is fine and there's no signs of distress inside the burner. And this is all looking very good and I'm very happy with it. Right, so after this we just clean it with an air duster. Keeping it away from our eyes, just in case there is any debris that may be sitting on the heat exchanger. Then we begin the reverse process of putting it back together. So the first thing we put back is the burner. Just check it to make sure there's no dust and very lightly wiping it. After we're happy with that, we then place it back into the boiler very carefully because it is ceramic. We re-inspect the seal, or we will change it in the case of a service, just making sure that it's nice and flimsy, so it's nice and soft and it's going to form a good combustion seal on the boiler. Just a minor inspection for any dust particles that may have come through. As we can see, there's not much here, and then we reinsert it back into the boiler. Once we're happy with it, just simply fix back in again. All the way around on the 4 lugs. We reconnect the air intake back onto the fan. This makes sure that all dust doesn't go into the heat exchanger as much as possible. We then reconnect the gas pipe to the gas valve. Then we usually use a 1/4 or 1/8 of a turn to tighten it up. Then we test it with leak detection spray. We turn the gas on again. Then we just spray our broken connection, making sure there's no bubbles indicating a gas leak. We're just going to inspect the combustion chamber to make sure all the clips are in the right relevant locations. So we're not going to get any rogue flames coming out the back of the boiler, which we don't want. Keep the door open on this nice little latch they have for us for testing and commissioning purposes. So once we're happy with the gas, all the wires are plugged into the right locations and the gas has been tested for leaks, we're then safe to return on the gas to the power back to the boiler. It starts off with a little purge, initial purge, just to clear any gas or any residual dust that may be in the boiler, clear it out. Okay, after we've completed our service and our check with the initial commissioning, we set our temperature to about 80 or 90 degrees, only briefly for servicing and commissioning. We hold the centre button for 5 seconds and this engages the service mode on the boiler, which we would test the high flame and the low flame and the condition of the combustion. When the red light begins to flash, it then begins the ignition sequence. So we just check to make sure that we've got a nice even flame, it's burning lovely and blue, and after that we put the analyzer in. Okay, so we're just testing the combustion to make sure that we're getting the good readings off the boiler. Then we check the condense to make sure there's no debris down there. It's not too hot, meaning that the siphon trap underneath it has failed. And then after that, we close the boiler. We just check our combustion to make sure that we have good combustion and the integrity of the flow. So we're happy with that. We would get a printout and we would fill out a CP15 for the relevant initial commissioning checklist. Right, just inspecting the flues, check the condition of them, make sure there's no leaks, and it's all working without any hesitation. The other thing we inspect is the air intakes on all the boilers to make sure there's no dust, no foreign debris going down the boilers which will cause the boilers to work incorrectly. The header is part of the installation which protects the boiler from thermal shock and any foreign material going back into the boiler. I'll just remove the insulation so you can see. On the header itself we have a automatic air vent. This bleeds the system of any air in the system to make sure that the system's always working at 100% capacity. This is our dry pocket sensor. This sensor here basically senses the flow temperature going out of the system, so the control module always knows the flow temperature going into the radiators and the heating circuit. So basically, because this one was quite a tricky installation, what we've had to do here is mount the header the flow return header for the boilers on the back of the boilers. These are our communal flow returns for each boiler. This is what we designed to make sure the boilers work and they are compliant with the manufacturer's instructions, which okayed the installation. And that concludes our installation of this plant room.
For more information on commercial boiler installations, please get in touch on 0800 998 1993 or email us at enquiries@villageheating.co.uk.